nature's soothing herbal remedies. For irritated throats, try new Luden's Herbal.
You want to be prepared? You watch the Weather Channel. When it comes to something as important as this, knowing what we know can make all the difference. It's all we do. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
The dig out continues in Jefferson, Ohio. More snow is headed into the region again today from a new storm. So get ready for some snow and ice from the Midwest to the Northeast. But those wintry conditions won't be lasting for long for the Northeast, and we'll have full details coming up. Good morning and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Cheryl Lemke.
And I'm Will Anna. Thanks for joining us here this morning. There's also some rain and freezing rain to talk about from the nation's midsection heading on down towards the south. Here's what some places can also expect for the upcoming day today. Snow has already made its way into Philadelphia. Snow is also possible later on today in New York City, but it'll be just plain rain later on this evening. Freezing rain is producing problems with ice this morning in Cincinnati big time, and rain is also accompanying the morning commute in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now for a look at the entire Northeast and Midwest, here's Cheryl.
Looks like it could be a very challenging day for traveling across the northeastern part of the country. Right now we're looking at a very complex winter storm that will eventually slide over through the Northeast, spreading a band of ice and snow. Speaking of snow, already some light snow coming down for Pittsburgh and Williamsport back on into Hagerstown, Maryland. We've had some snow too near the nation's capital, around Washington, D.C., Bethesda, and likewise for Baltimore. And we're also picking up some snowy conditions back through Columbus, Ohio. Farther towards the south, though, a band of freezing rain, and all that mess will be converging right over the Northeast. So those of you in Boston and New York City, right now you're waiting in anticipation for this big winter storm. And the same can be said, too, for those of you in Cleveland. Not seeing any snow right now, but it should be starting up fairly shortly. And now joining me, we have our very own Jim Cantori, who's reporting live from Cleveland. Good morning, Jim. What's the latest?
And good morning, Cheryl. Actually, we just started snowing about 5-10 minutes ago. We walked out of the place we had breakfast at, and the snow is coming down. So we do have kind of a light, fluffy snow coming on down right now, which isn't causing too many problems on the road. This is Highway 2 behind me here. You can see it moving right along the lakefront, and traffic's moving just fine. Even after 5 inches of snow the day before yesterday, they got it all plowed off and salted enough so that everything pretty much melted. But the dust that we're having now is pretty much just being blown across the roads here with the winds that are moving on in. So nothing too terrible, but we are expecting the conditions to go downhill as we go through the afternoon and on into tonight. They've got winter storm warnings posted for heavy snow. So some of this is going to get heavy, and we're concerned about the rush hour tonight here in Cleveland. And once again, the Midwest under the gun for some more sloppy weather as we head into the weekend. The big difference, Cheryl, is it is not a holiday weekend, and that is obviously good news for a lot of travelers. But we'll keep you posted here from the lakefront in Cleveland. Right now, light snow coming down, temperature at 17, winds out of the south, and it is a little chilly again with that wind chill kicking up. Back to you.
Thanks, Jim. We appreciate the update. Again, that was Jim Cantore reporting live from Cleveland. Now, as Jim was mentioning, we've had a few light snow flurries right now for Cleveland, but that is just a taste of things to come, as the snow will really start to pick up in intensity a little bit later on today. Now, we're going to really see a mixed bag of weather moving through the Northeast. At least initially, there'll be some snow for Philadelphia, New York City, on into around to Hagerstown, likewise for Boston and Providence. It will start off as snow, eventually, though, turning over to some freezing rain and sleet, at least for a brief time span, and then eventually back over to a pure rain event. And we do think that certainly by tomorrow, the rain could be locally heavy up and down the eastern seaboard. So, boy, a messy time for traveling the next couple of days or so. Right now, the biggest concern that we have for Kentucky is freezing rain. It is still, we have reports now of freezing rain for Lexington and Louisville, and then just south of Cincinnati, some freezing rain. So definitely some treacherous roadways. Be especially careful. In fact, if you don't have to travel, it's probably the best thing just to stay inside today because, again, roadways very dangerous across Kentucky. Meanwhile, though, as we head to the north, we have another disturbance coming on in, spreading a band of snow. We've had the snows this morning from Huron spreading back towards the Twin City, and now some snow, too, moving over towards La Crosse, Cedar Rapids, and Des Moines, Iowa. Chicago, too, you're picking up some snowfall. How much snow can we expect? For the most part, just a lighter swath of perhaps 2 or 3 inches of snow, but some areas might pick up even heavier amounts, like around Indianapolis. Cleveland and Toledo, you're slated for some heavier snows today. And eventually a band of heavier snows, too, will start to work over towards Williamsport and back over towards around Syracuse. So you might be shoveling out from nearly 6 inches of snowfall by tonight. And definitely dress very warmly. We have some nasty temperatures and even colder still with those wind chills. Dangerously cold wind chills for Bismarck and Minot, and the wind chill making it feel like 11 for Chicago. So if you're waiting to pick up the L train this morning, wear several layers of warm clothes. And bundle up, too, for the Northeast. The wind chill currently for Boston down to a mere 2 degrees, and it feels like 13 for the Big Apple. How about the weather across the rest of the country? Let's check it out with Will.
Thanks a lot, Cheryl. As we mentioned earlier, wintry conditions are spreading now from West Virginia and Virginia to parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. Basically, rain, though, is going to be plaguing much of the South for the upcoming day. I'll show you what's going on right now because during the last 24 hours, there has been a lot of rainfall in parts of Louisiana and southwestern and west central Mississippi, and more rain is on the way. And come later on this afternoon, we could be looking at the threat of severe thunderstorms that could be plaguing Houston, maybe Lake Charles, but should be remaining to the west of New Orleans until later on this evening. Otherwise, if you live around Little Rock to Nashville, you're looking at a variety of weather. Freezing rain in Little Rock, Paducah, Kentucky, looking at freezing rain, but Nashville, with temperatures well into the 50s and rain moving in, it's just going to be liquid precipitation, no frozen stuff to worry about for the upcoming day. And the farther south you go, no problems whatsoever. It should be a fairly decent day around Miami, also right around Tampa and Orlando. Tomorrow is going to be Florida's rainy day for sure, but around Atlanta back to Birmingham, you'll be looking at the rainfall for the upcoming day today. It's raining already in these locations, and there could be a lot.